Welcome back, Voodoo Dolls, to another creepy video. So today, I'm going to be reading from r/Let's Not Meet. You'll already know the deal. This is a place where people post about people that they never want to meet again. And this time around, I'm changing things up. I have one epic story and 4 short stories. So let's get started. This first post was posted by u/Mayhem Anthem. I've alluded to this story a few times in previous posts, but I'm finally doing it now. Sorry for the wait, I've been busy with wedding stuff for Sarge and I, but here I am, so let's hit it. We're on our honeymoon and I'm writing this on the plane as we hit another destination. Sarge, at the time boyfriend, and I were visiting Russia together. We've seen his hometown before, but now we're in a different, undisclosed city, town area. It was snowing, of course it's effing Russia, but we're still walking around. It was a cultured village, but a little more modern. It was rustic, that's the word. So the snow obviously doesn't bother anyone there, anyone except for me. Sarge has a couple of layers on, sure, but I'm bundled up as if we were in a blizzard. Even Comrade, my service dog from Russia, was fine. He wasn't shivering at all, and believe me, I was checking. We ended up going to this cute diner type establishment that serves stuff like mostly soup and sandwiches. It's not like I could read the menu, so I just told Sarge to order me whatever he was having and I would be good. We were sitting there for a while, just chatting away about the shit Sarge used to do as a kid. Irrelevant, but here's one I distinctly remember if you're interested. When Sarge was like 10 or so, he built a bunch of snowmen in his yard that were like 3 or 4 feet tall. Then, the neighborhood jerks from down the street came marching down and kicked all his snowmen down. Pissed off, Sarge rebuilt them and he poured lots of water on them so they turned completely to ice. When the bullies came back again, one went to kick the snowman and he screamed in pain with a broken toe/foot. Sarge's mother was about to punish him, but his father was too proud to let her do that. Anyway, just as we got our food, this big group of people come in and sit in the tables and booths to our left. These people were evidently Serbian. When Sarge told me that quietly, I asked, "How do you know? They sound Russian to me." Yeah, Slavic accents sound really similar, but if you're Slav, you can tell a difference. Okay, but why are we whispering? Because they're in the... And since we both know American Sign Language, I taught him myself, he fingerspelled mob. The what? Sarge, mouthing and fingerspelling. Mob. Oh, like the mafia? Mafia is Italian. Mob. Oh, that makes sense. So we're sitting next to the Serbian mob, and on the other side, some normal, wholesome Russians. So we're gonna be good, yeah? Sarge, of course. They're mostly Russians in here, so they wouldn't try anything. So we're eating a little, and Sarge isn't nervous or tense at all, but I am. He doesn't seem fazed at all to be sitting next to the mob, but the Russians on the other side of us keep eyeing the Serbs every now and then, like they're a little stressed. The Serbs are a bit rowdy, kinda loud, but mostly 99% men, nice clothes, smoking. Probably everyone reading this knows that I have foreign accent syndrome, which causes me to unintentionally mimic other accents I hear or start speaking ones at random. This time, I was getting a Serbian one by sitting next to the Serbs. Again, I thought in my head It was just a Russian one from talking to Sarge. That still happens today. I'll be living my life, and then randomly I have a Russian accent from Sarge. I thought at the time that's what this was. As it was getting stronger, Sarge could hear it, and he says, "Stop talking." I say, "Huh?" "Shh." I look at him like I'm saying, "What the hell is your problem?" Sarge in sign language, "You sound Serbian." I have the "oh shit" look. Sarge says, "Don't worry about it. As long as you just sign instead of talk, maybe calm down so your accent goes away and you'll be fine. Don't worry, love." In my head, I'm still worried because Sarge isn't fluent in sign language yet. He knew enough at the time, but he wasn't great. At this time, Comrade is now starting to get a little antsy under the table, sensing my anxiety. So I pet him and it makes me feel better. Sure enough, a server comes and asks something. Sarge translates and asks for me, "Do you want to try anything to drink?" I didn't drink, and I still don't drink really, but I wanted to try kvass for the hell of it. Icebingerfell. K-V-A-S-S. But he doesn't get it. He keeps asking me to repeat it, and I keep going slower, and eventually I get so stressed between everything that I just end up saying K-V-A-S-S spells kvass, honey. He goes a little pale. Someone from the Serb side goes, "Hey," something Serbian that Sarge translated later for me. "She's one of us." This is roughly the conversation. None of it was in English, so while it was happening, I was just sitting there looking dumb, and Sarge translated later. "Mind your business. She is our business. She's Serbian. She's American. Now go back to your meal." Who are you to talk to me like that? We can ask you the same thing. This American you speak of with a perfect Serbian accent, a likely story. And if you know what's good for you, you'll apologize. The entire Russian side of the restaurant triggered. It now becomes a swearing match between the Serbs and the Russians. Not even about me anymore, thank God. About 3 minutes later, the war is still going strong and I really have to pee. The problem? Sarge doesn't want me to leave his sight for obvious reasons. But it's not like the mob would just let him get up to walk me to the bathroom since he was the one that kind of helped instigate this whole thing. A few more servers come in from the back and try to defuse the situation / throw the Serbs out. They are not having it. I'm about to seriously pee my pants, so I go YOLO mode and just get up with Comrade during all the chaos and slip into the bathroom. After I relieve myself, I'm thinking, you know what? I'll just stay here until Sarge comes out and tells me, and we can make a run for it. Or maybe I'll wait for the mob to leave. Waiting out in the bathroom doesn't seem like a bad strategy at the time. I grabbed my phone and text this to Sarge, but I left my phone on the table. Of all the times to not have my phone, I try to come up with a new plan, but there's no way in hell I can just waltz back out there. Should I try to get outside? No, that's probably stupid, right? Well, I was stranded in there. Someone else comes into the bathroom and I hear a very heavy Russian accent say to me, "Excuse me, ma'am." I poke my head out of the stall and there's a server. Apparently, Sarge asked her to help me out with the 7% English she knew. She gives me my phone and I start rapidly trying to message Sarge. The lady, I'll call her Olga, sorry, that's the most Russian name I can think of, starts saying, "So, are you scared of Serbs?" Not until now, should I be? My best friend that I mentioned in some of my posts, Luna, and her boyfriend Peter, are both Serbian. Peter grew up with Sarge in Russia, though. Luna and I met in 7th grade, and the rest is history. They're terrific people. Olga: "No, Serbs and Russians are usually like family, but these bastards are mafia." I decided then that I really liked Olga. We started playing with Comrade to pass the time, and eventually Sarge comes to the bathroom and we speed walk out of the restaurant while the servers kept the mob members from following us. Then we left. Later, Sarge acted like it was no big deal and it never even happened. The hell? Long story short, we encountered the Serbian mob while in Russia and I was more or less held hostage in a bathroom. This one was posted by Alexandria Samazi. There was this woman from church that my mom kinda knew. She would come over for group gatherings and she seemed very nice to me. She added me on Facebook. I was 11 at the time and she was in her late 20s or early 30s. All she wanted to do was play Farmville, so we did, poking each other on Facebook and giving each other stuff in the game. It was back when the game was at its peak. She started coming around less and less, and my mom eventually asked me to remove her on my Facebook. And then she tried friending me, and my mom blocked her, and she never came again. My mom started to get a bad feeling about her and started asking around about her past. Let's say what my mom found out was horrible, and this lady could really hurt me. She had a past of child abuse / kidnapping. So my mom cut her out quickly and removed her from both our lives. I'm really glad that she did, because she was wanting me to come over to her place. And I said that I had homework or that I wanted to ride my bike. Thanks, Mom. Strange, possibly child killer lady, let's not meet. This one was posted by the Moppy Boy. I know this may be a meme Reddit account, but I needed to tell people, and I thought I could get some opinions from Reddit, and I also didn't really know where to type this. But I think this is the right subreddit. So this is how my story goes. I'm a 13-year-old male who has very long hair. I get mistaken for a girl a lot. Very important. So this was a weekday, and I got off school because I had a performance of the show Newsies that day for school kids. The show went bad, but that's not that important. After the show, the cast went out to a restaurant called The Bridge. That's not the real name. And I was sick that day with a cold, so I ate and started to walk home. On my way home, I passed a church I usually visit for rehearsing and for my shows. And I noticed a man wearing a yellow rain jacket. And the man is older, around 5'8", and I'm about 5'2". I notice he looks at me and starts to walk in the direction I'm walking. So I think, oh, he's probably just on his way somewhere near my house, just a coincidence. But as I turn onto the next street, I look back and he notices me look back, and he turns to look at a building site where a house is being built. Then I get to the next block and he's still following me. My street is 1 block away. So I turn onto the street in front of it, and so I do it. And I kid you not, he follows. So I'm scared crapless, and I let him know that I have a phone. So I pull it out of my pocket and I tried calling my mom, but she was in a meeting for her school. I think he notices it, because the next second he turned his head and stared at a fire hydrant for a whole minute. We then walked into someone's backyard. And then I sprinted to the next street and ran into my house. And that was the last I ever saw of the man. I never ever want to see that yellow rain jacket ever again. Edit. One thing that creeped me out is that it wasn't even raining that day. This one was posted by BKNDLWYS. I started night shifts at a large superstore in the next town over. It's 5 a.m. and I'm stacking shelves alone in my department. My colleague is on break, and a random man approaches. He's without a jacket in 5 degrees Celsius weather and seems lively. And for Americans, this is like slightly above freezing, so about 40 degrees. Instead of asking for assistance, He repeatedly tells me that I'm beautiful and makes a mildly racist observation that weirdly enough has no relevance to myself, but saunters off as I keep distancing myself away, not before giving me a kiss on the back of my hand. My colleague dashes in later, telling me that the security are looking for a strange man, either on drugs, not quite mentally stable, or both. He flung his jacket on the doors and bragged to other customers about being high on cocaine. My coworker warns me to escape if he comes back and to not let him invade my personal space. As luck would have it, he returns and tries to give me a present that's just for me. I'm now terrified. Then he pulls out a slim bar of pretty fancy chocolate, and I manage to finally get the attention of my senior manager, who then rescues me. We then find out that the chocolate he gave me, and I was too scared to keep it in the fear of him tampering with it, wasn't even from our store, so who knows how long he'd had that for. This one was posted by Kevin F324. So this may just be a quick, short story, but I thought I should type this anyway to get it off my chest, because everyone I tell this story to who was there that day never entirely believes me. This story takes place at a mall, where the establishment just built a cute rubber playground. At the time, I was 6 years old and was simply enjoying playing at the area as my family was shopping only a few feet away. Then came a wrinkly looking tan man with a long beard, skinny and balding. He approached a small Latino boy and began talking to him about cool toys he had in this van. Now at this time, I knew what stranger danger meant, but to my shame, I only stood there, shocked that this was happening. More so when this boy was agreeing to follow him where he kept the toys. I remember thinking, OMG, is this boy really going with this man? Doesn't he know what stranger danger is? If that didn't make things worse, this boy was so excited that he went to invite his brother, around the same age as I am, and they went off together. I obviously didn't know what I could do. Run off and tell this giant man after them and get lost, or tell my mom what was going on. Would she even believe me? Where were their parents? But as I stood there watching them walk off together in the distance, so did the opportunity. I stopped playing and walked to the store where my mom was and told her in a shy voice what happened. I was struggling to find the words, but I told her something along the lines of, "Hey mommy, I saw something strange happen. I saw an ugly old man walk off with two boys, like the kind of men you warned me about on the news." She just looked at me and smiled, not seeming to entirely understand. I pressed the issue more so, but she only responded, "Don't worry, mommy is almost done shopping for shoes." She proceeded to shower me with compliments, and the kind of tones moms reserve for when they playfully talk to babies, but this made me feel more distressed. I could feel the time to act slipping away. I remember telling her, "I'm serious, there was a creepy man over there talking to children." I pointed at the direction where they once stood, and I remember watching her face attentively. I saw a flicker of understanding, but she brushed it off as doubt settled in. That was the end of that encounter. A few days later, I was watching the news with my mom, and I saw the same boys. I felt placed on the spotlight again on what to do, but I knew my mom would never take me seriously. I was only 6 and my family were illegals who wouldn't want to get involved themselves with the police anyways. I asked my mom what she thought about those two boys, but she had no opinion because she wasn't paying attention to the TV anyways. I often look back with regret of what I could have done. Parents may teach their kids what to do when these incidents happen to them, but I don't know what I could do as a witness. I felt as if I'd done everything I could do, telling my mom, but I was too young in her eyes to be taken seriously. After that playground, I never ended up playing there after that incident. I'm 21 now, but I still see parents dropping off their kids there and shop around the area. What a dumb place to have anyway, as it only encourages such negligence. Well, that's the end of this one. And watch my video about the whole thing on Twitter. It is an issue that really needs to be talked about, and it's an issue that I have honestly not seen anyone talk about. Basically, long story short, there's people posting CP all over Twitter, and no one seems to be doing anything about it, besides, like, people like me, and it doesn't really seem to be getting much attention. So, watch that video, share it, spread the word that this stuff is happening. Like this video, subscribe, share it, stay spooky, and I'll see you all in the next video.